Thinking of investing, working, or starting a business in the cannabis industry? We've got you covered right here on Plant Problems. Hosted by Tony Frischknecht, Plant Problems takes a different approach to cannabis than what you're seeing and hearing from the mainstream media. Come along with Tony and be in the know about how to invest, work, or start a cannabis business. Let's get the show started with your host, Tony Frischknecht.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. This is Tony Frischknecht with Plant Problems. I appreciate everybody out there listening in, and I hope I can provide some help and potentially navigate you to save yourself from major problems in the future. One of these major problems being taxes. It's not a fun one. It's probably one of the biggest challenges is running a company is dealing with taxes. But if you plan and you decide to work on this early rather than last minute like so many do, you can save yourself a lot of headache as well as a lot of stress. The stress that comes behind taxes can change the way you make business decisions. And if you can eliminate that, it helps to provide a little bit of sanity in this crazy cannabis world. So I want to start by talking to you about some of the mistakes that I made dealing with taxes and trying to navigate that. And the big one that you should really think about is what you're setting your business up as. You know, there's LLCs, there's S Corps, C Corps, and there's so many things that you can start your company in, and you can also elect into new ones. You know, I want to start first by preface it. You should talk to your tax specialist about this. Don't just take my word for it, but this is just some information to give you so you can ask the right questions. There are a lot of CPAs out there, and just like attorneys, there's a lot of them flocking to this industry because they see the boom happening. So you need to be prepared with, having some of this information that you can ask these professionals, because I'm telling you, 95% of them haven't dealt with an animal like this. We started our companies and we started in LLCs and ended up electing into S Corps and C Corps. So you really want to know the difference with each of them, because there's some big tax implications that can happen in each entity. As for the S Corp, one of the mistakes we made, and was a matter of trying to save from being double taxed. My business partner that was running the financials at the time came to us with a proposition. Well, do we want to be double taxed, or do we want to try to keep some of our money? In hindsight, the double tax came with a lot less risk. What it did is it came with a risk of that you are not responsible for any taxes due if there is an issue personally in a tax audit. Well, I would say 3 years after I exited my dispensary, we actually there was an audit that was started, and we are still currently fighting this, so I can't explain too many of the details, but lo and behold, we found out, well, we're personally responsible for these. Well, this is, of course, a huge blow, and we're not taking it sitting down, but had I understood the ramifications of S Corp versus C Corp, I would have definitely voiced my opinion a lot more with my business partners, saying, you know what, if something happens, the sky falls and government comes after us, we're going to owe for all these back taxes that if we would have been in an C Corp, we wouldn't have had that issue. So, these are lessons we learn as business people and structuring. When you're starting it and the pace is moving so fast, like so many of you are, it's just a matter of getting your product made, getting it to your consumer, getting all your bills covered, and trying to grow your company. It's about the last thing that any business owner would like to deal with. I know because I was there. And we didn't want to deal with that part because it is confusing. The tax laws are so confusing that to take time and sit down and just take an entire day to work on it, you barely scratch the surface. So you try to hire competent advisors to help you with this and understand really what's going on. I think there was a couple big mistakes. One was just trusting that your business partner knows everything about taxes. It was a mistake on my part, but the other was getting the right CPAs in place and the right counsel. It was really challenging back then, though, because we didn't have anybody that had gone through any of this. Nowadays, you guys are a lot, I would say you're a lot more fortunate because there are many tax advisors and tax attorneys that have been through audits at this point. So it makes it much easier to find somebody that understands stuff. Stuff in particular is 280E. If you guys are not aware of 280E and you're getting in this business, or you've started this business and you don't understand it, I suggest that you go and search it. Well, I have a bonus page in my website that actually, it's a quick sign up. You can go in there and it'll give you a breakdown on what 280E is. Website is blackmarketbook.com. You can go in there and put your email and your name in there, and it'll give you a quick rundown. You can also dig it up, find it online as well. You can easily search 280E. I tried to make it simple and post a form there that will give you an understanding on how it works. But basically, if you're not aware of it and you're not aware of how it works, it doesn't allow for normal business deductions that, say, a convenience store has, such as employees. They might have one employee running the register and one filling up the cold cases and the candy bar and gum racks. So to simplify it for you, I'm going to say the money that you pay the employees of 10 to 15 bucks an hour, doesn't matter. We'll just say 10 bucks an hour on a weekly basis, 40 hours a week, $400 a week in payment to that one employee is non-deductible because you are dealing with a Schedule 1 narcotic if you are in a dispensary. Of course, this is different for, your extraction companies, your grow facilities, but I encourage you to educate yourself and make sure you understand how 280 affects your specific business. So if you run across anyone that says they're a specialist in the cannabis industry and they know nothing of 280, run. Those people do not know what they're talking about, and they're going to get you in some serious trouble. So for those people out there that are in some serious trouble, on my website too, I also, in that same bonus section, I have a recommendation to a very highly and well educated in cannabis audits. Her name is Rachel Gillette. She's simply incredible, but you can get her information there or you can Google her, either one, it doesn't matter. She has helped me out and so many others in our industry with audit, and as well as discussions with city and state. So not just federal audits, but city and state. She has been working in the cannabis industry for nearly 10 years, so she knows what she's talking about. But these are the type of professionals that I've been able to tap into over the last several years, and it changes the way your stress levels are at. And when I talk about these professionals taking the weight off of your shoulders, and you can turn to them and say, "Please help me," there's nothing better than that when you feel like your back's against the wall, especially dealing with the government. So to take these stresses off of your plate is what I'm trying to do. And getting the specialized help, even when you're in the planning stage before, because what I have been told several times, just like anything else in life, is it's not if, it's when. So audits are coming constantly. You're not hearing about them that much in the media. You're not hearing that. You're not hearing it in social media enough. But they've started in Colorado within 2012 time period and have been working themselves up. So you're going to start hearing about them, especially because of California. And so I want to prepare you to have a strategy in place. Taking and putting a tax strategy together with your professional is key to your success. And so actually utilizing this before it happens and being proactive instead of reactive is going to save you so much time and so many headaches that I've been through. This is going to change the way you do your business. The other thing too is, now that I'm thinking about it, is it will actually give you a leg up on a lot of your competition. And I know, Tony, geez, I'm doing everything I can just to make my business work right now. I get it, but spend the time to find somebody to help you with this. If you don't have time to do it, you're going to have to hire somebody. But you're hiring them as an insurance policy because you're going to tap into that insurance policy at some point. And without having those people in place, you can easily get blindsided. I've been blindsided several times. And again, had I known a lot of this information prior, I could have set up steps in place to make it a lot simpler. I want to make my life simpler, and I want to work on my business. I'm an entrepreneur like so many of you guys are. The last thing I want to do is deal with all the little minor things that come along. What happens is with taxes, it seems like there's a lot of minor and they just build, and it's kind of like a bubble, right? Oh, well, we didn't get this payment sent out to the state. Okay, well, we'll make sure we do that next week. Well, there's so many fines and penalties and everything that just stack up against you. And that bubble is just expanding and blowing up bigger and bigger and bigger. So finally you hit a point where it's about to pop. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do something about my taxes. I'm freaking out. What am I going to do? And when you're in that position and you've got massive overhead that you're having to cover every week, whether it be employees, rent, you owe vendors, it is overwhelming, and it can literally paralyze you from making decisions. Fortunately, hopefully you got a good team behind you that can help you through those bad parts, or those challenging parts of business. But these are things that can affect you even if you aren't successful. There's some big stuff that maybe I would say most of you don't know, but if you don't make it in this industry and you end up failing, you're still going to owe these taxes. That's the worst part. Oh my God, my business failed and I still owe $150,000 to the government. Well, you can't go bankrupt on your taxes. And here's the biggest part that I'm going to share with you in this podcast. This is what I like to say my golden nugget is. You cannot currently now, because it's not federally legal, you cannot declare bankruptcy in this industry. I will say that again. You will not be able to declare bankruptcy if you fail in the cannabis industry. I'm going to sit here for a minute and let that sink in. Okay. What does that mean to you? Well, what that means to you is, and me, oh my gosh, I'm going to be paying for this for the rest of my life. Yes, that's exactly it. Some of you say, well, they'll change. It's going to be legalized soon enough. We don't know when. None of us has a crystal ball. We don't know when it's going to change. If that doesn't change, or when it changes and you're in this situation and you owe the taxes, more than likely it doesn't retroactively put you in this bucket of, oh, well, they've changed that law now. Now I can get involved in this. That's not how it works. Not unless they specifically state it. And getting something like that to be stated is a huge mountain to climb. By then anyway, you're not going to have any money to help fight or to try to change that law with lobbyists and spending money there. So you're still going to owe it. I don't know about you, but I don't think that anybody really understands how significant a challenge that is and how big of a risk that is getting into this industry, because it's not talked about. So I don't want to scare you. Still huge opportunity in this, but these are some pitfalls that you need to avoid to be successful. Not only be successful, but not go in debt to where you can't get yourself out of, because that will haunt you forever. Anybody have student loans out there? 50% of Americans do. You can't go bankrupt out of your student debt loans. So imagine just another student debt loan that you're paying off for the next 40, 50 years. Do you need that $500 to $1,000 payment on top of your living expenses just because you started a business? No, that's not what America was founded on. We were founded on opportunity. And so I urge you to dig into this subject deeper. Again, find the right tax specialist to help you build your strategies to keep you on the right side of keep you in the black instead of keeping you in the red. So that is something that everybody should be looking into. So I want to thank you guys for joining in today. And I hope I didn't scare too many of you out there. I really, truly want to help you guys succeed. And this is a big piece of the puzzle that you guys need to be aware of. If you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more about taxes, of course, check out my website, blackmarketbook.com. I also talk about it in my book. It's one of my chapters. And the book name again to that is From Black Market to the Man. And let me know out there what you guys want to talk about. I'm going to keep bringing up some more of this information as we go along. And I know it'll help you if you guys start utilizing it. So it was great talking with everyone today. And I look forward to next time. Bye for now.
You've just listened to another insightful episode of Plant Problems. If you like what you heard so far, don't forget to tell your friends and colleagues. For additional resources or to leave a review, head over to plantproblem.com. Join us again next week on Plant Problems with Tony Frischknecht. We look forward to having conversations with you as we go along this journey.